Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Welcome to another episode. Hump day here, hump day. I kind of feel like it's the first day of the week. I had a friend come in on Sunday night and she just left this morning. We went down to Pensacola yesterday, enjoyed some good food, a little bit of time on the beach. Ergo, why I didn't have a video out yesterday. And yeah, she just left a little while ago, so now it's time to get my week started. But I couldn't have been happier. It was so nice to see a good friend I made at Woodstock last year. And yeah. Anyhow, today I wanted to tell you a raw vegan lifestyle transformation story, my story. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you haven't already done it, I'd appreciate if you go down there and hit that subscribe button now. Then you have to click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll know when there's a new video out. Yeah, just hanging out with somebody the last few days. We've talked. I probably talked her ear off. We've talked a lot. So, kind of dredge up past, talk about the past, kind of even go into a little bit more detail of what I've been through, a little bit of my story along the way. So I just thought while it was fresh on my mind, it would be a good time to share. I mean, I've shared a lot of the bigger details and stuff like that before, but yeah. You never know. Always new people that haven't seen the whole story. I won't go through from the absolute beginning to every detail, but to begin with, I was a big old drunk. I was a drunk for a lot of years. I was a drunk for 30-something years. Alcohol pretty much was the driving force in my life now that I've looked back, and everything else was just kind of supplemental to that. I had a lot of healthy periods in my life, but when you drink like I do, you're generally not going to eat the healthiest. So I had a lot of bad eating habits throughout the years, different bad eating habits throughout the years. As I was telling my friend yesterday, when I was really young, I don't even know how I lived through some of that stuff. We're just talking about stuff you hear about like back in the Middle Ages of wild warriors and stuff, how they ate and drank, like just stories of me in college and even after college. As a big old boy, I could go out, I could drink a case of beer and then go to a breakfast buffet at 3 in the morning and just scarf down mad amounts of eggs and bacon and sausages and pancakes and just inhaling ungodly amounts of food. Like I say, a lot of periods of my life, I always went to the gym because I somehow wanted to stay, somewhat big, somewhat strong, somewhat thinking I'm somewhat in shape, which I wasn't. So I did go through a lot of healthy periods. I knew probably a little bit more about nutrition than the average person, but still that alcohol was always was always in the background, and I did a little adjustments because of that. And like I say, to sum it up, I just ate a lot of bad food throughout the years, even up to I would say a couple or 3 years before I became raw vegan, came to this lifestyle. I was barbecuing. I was smoking meat. I smoked meat for a friend that had a hotel down in Costa Rica and had a little restaurant in that hotel. So I basically made barbecue. It was all about that Q for a couple of years. I didn't eat as much of it because, like we were doing this for a business and for profits. And even though I worked for him, like I had to pay if I was going to eat it. So I didn't eat a ton of it, but I ate enough. Wings, football season, sports. Oh my God, I could take down wings. I loved wings. I lived on some bar food during football season many, many years. A typical football weekend would be, and this is apropos right now during football season. Typical weekend, I'd post up in my friend's sports bar down there, and over the course of Saturday and Sunday, I'd pretty much spend the whole day in the sports bar with my computer. So throughout the day, I'm drinking these drink promotions. Pretty much, let's just say I left drunk most days. And on the weekends for football, there would usually be a couple of dozen wings each day, usually a burger thrown in there over the weekend, and usually some greasy fries and different things to fill in. So anyhow, fast forward, we're coming up on the end of 2011. I'm thinking, it's time I can't deal with this lifestyle anymore. It's time to start getting healthy. So in 2012, January of 2012, I was going to do the whole big New Year's resolution thing. Well, that didn't happen for some reason. I don't even remember why right now. So I somehow, I drank all day New Year's Day that year, and I drank for a couple of more weeks, and I didn't stop, didn't really kind of get serious until about the third week of January 2012. That's when I started my health journey. I didn't go raw vegan. That's not the beginning of my raw vegan plant-based journey, but I started really getting serious and going about my health. I stopped drinking completely for about 2 months, and I was just studying everything online that I could get my hands on. I was studying about antioxidants. I was studying about the effects of alcohol long term on the body. I was studying everything I could get my hands on about the liver, detoxing my liver, basically undoing the damage that I had done to my body and building it back with good, healthy food and a good healthy way of living. A lot of this it's as much about just the mental detox, the clarity I needed, and the garbage in my head I needed to get out of my life as much as the food. So anyhow, over this next, say from January of 2012 until June, it was about June of that year, so there was February, March, April, May, June. There was about a 5-month period there before I went vegan. Well, during that 5-month period, and I always like to stress this to people, I was not reading any plant-based information at the time. I was not thinking vegan in any way, shape, or form. But naturally, over the course of this 5 months, I was dropping animal products and I was cutting way back on animal products. By the time I got to June and I started seeing things on the plant-based diet, on raw vegan, on vegan, I would say by then I was eating meat maybe 2 or 3 times a week, smaller portions down there, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And it would be, say, a 4-ounce, 5-ounce portion each time. I wasn't drinking milk. I had cheese in omelets because you needed the protein a couple of times a week. But the point being is, and I took a lot out of that later on, is just the body, when it starts getting healthy, it just naturally starts ditching the animal products. And I had remembered from Fit for Life by the Diamonds years and years ago, this principle of not eating anything but fruit until noon. So during the period leading up to the being raw vegan, I did that a lot of days. Most mornings were either fruit or smoothies. Fruit, smoothies. Every once in a while I would cook some breakfast, but there was a lot of fruit. And as the animal products disappeared, everybody, no matter what we put on them back then, always salads, they're healthy. But I was eating a lot more fruits and vegetables. I was making a lot more salads at night. I was cooking a lot more vegetables. Granted, looking back, I was sauteing them in olive oil, but still I was stepping in that right direction. Okay, so I get to 2012, June of 2012, and I don't know, one weekend I click on this that leads to this, that leads to this, and I stumble onto something about the raw vegan lifestyle, and I start reading, and I start watching videos. And that whole weekend, I remember doing nothing but watching various videos of people and reading about this lifestyle. And all I can say is it resonated and it made sense. And from that weekend, I was plant-based. During the first year, I probably had honey a handful of times, just not even making the connection, not thinking about honey from the vegan aspect. And I don't ever get into that. If you do what you do, but that was me. But yeah, it just made sense. So I heard about raw vegan. That was my first, thinking about the vegan thing, period. So I went high raw right away. Now, where I want to change, add something in a little bit different than maybe I've talked about, even in my transformation story. Yes, I saw, in the beginning, I didn't eat near enough. I got way too skinny. I had blood sugar. I know I was getting blood sugar spikes because I was just up and down, up and down. But basically, I wasn't eating enough. I didn't have enough energy. So I got uber skinny, then had to figure that out, then corrected too much, just being, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I look like, like I'm going to die or something. So I kind of overcorrected by eating lots of potatoes with lots of olive oil just for calories. Anyhow, get my weight built back up. And then once I kind of felt a little, okay, well, at least don't look like I'm dying of something. Then I started settling in and learning this lifestyle. I moved from the city down to the beach, and I would say after I'd been on the lifestyle for about 6 months. No, let's say after I'd been on the lifestyle for about 8 months to a year, I was starting to feel kind of good inside in my skin. I was starting to figure things out. I was starting to figure out how much I needed to eat to keep it on. Obviously, in my transformation story, just like I told you, the weight just dropped immediately. So the weight was never like an ongoing long-term thing. It just dropped, and then all of a sudden it became about keeping the weight on. But no, I noticed my eyes starting to clear up. I just noticed, I had this crazy amount of energy all the time. I always felt good. My digestion was just great. I'm just like, man, how can you have like flawless digestion, never have indigestion, never have heartburn, any of that stuff? And it was just because I came to understand the food we were eating, what it did to the body. I educated myself. I joke about stuff sometimes, but I don't want you to think it's all woo-woo and you go totally by feel. I educated myself. I've read a lot of the books. I've read Becoming Vegan, Becoming Raw. I use 80-10-10 as a reference a good bit. I've read a number of the natural hygienists. I've read Eric. I read stuff by Norman Walker. I read stuff by T. Colin Campbell. And when I say I read stuff, some of the stuff I read online, but I start kind of getting the picture. And I started finding my groove in this thing. I found what started working for me. But when I really took off was when I took all this knowledge that had learned and had read and was still learning and started applying it myself. And I started applying it how I thought it should be, what innately made sense to me. And I kind of took off on my own journey. And that's when things really started to move. And one thing I want to share with you, and then I'm going to kind of wrap this up so it won't just get too crazy, is, and it may happen to you too, I'm still figuring stuff out all the time. I'm still like going upward. I'm still moving up. I'm still increasing. I'm still like, I can still say to this day, I feel way better right now than I did a year ago. And I felt really good a year ago. So if I can keep like getting better, feeling better, getting something more out of this, that just says a lot to me. And so what the point being is, don't necessarily think you've reached the pinnacle, even if you've done something for 2 years, for 3 years. Keep on plugging away. Keep on plugging away. Don't get bored. Don't backslide. Don't say, okay, well, now I'm feeling so well, and then start taking a few steps back. Because if you keep seeking, if you keep kind of learning and experimenting on yourself, I'm just kind of sometimes going, damn, where is this all going? Where is this all going? Because I'm already thinking about the next phase. I talked with my friend. I'm going to start plugging some holes this fall and winter. I supplement B12, and I'm definitely going to supplement D in the winter. But I'm also working on, just even with food, getting some more of those natural nutrients in. I'm starting to pay attention to iodine. I'm going to do something with, I've got an iodine supplement I'm going to start taking. I want to start making sure, am I getting enough magnesium? Am I getting enough iron? Am I getting enough? So I'm going to just kind of like start filling in some holes. And that's going to be, let's see where we can take it now. But I don't know. They say our body completely regenerates after 7 years, and I'm just coming up on that. So I don't know how long this thing can keep going, but I'm 54 now. I was 48 when I started. Okay, yes, I was living a different lifestyle, so it's hard to compare, even though I'm older, 6.5 years older. It's hard to compare, to a different lifestyle, but at 54, I feel a hell of a lot better than I felt at 48. Well, not 54 yet. I better not. Yeah, I am 54. I'm almost 55. But I feel a hell of a lot better than I did at 48, 47. And I feel a hell of a lot better than I did a year ago. So, I'm just trying to see how far this can go. I'll finish up with this. I keep my philosophy simple. I'm just thinking like, okay, at my age, I'm in that age range, 55 next March. So no matter all your positive thinking and affirmations, I can only, there will be a point of decline. So I'm just trying to see how long I can keep getting a little better, a little healthy, feeling a little better, a little bit more physical, the whole thing. Then I know it'll come to a certain point where I'm at that age, and I hope I can extend it for a while where I'm not really going forward, not really going up, but I'm just staying the same. I'm trying to stay the same. And then that would be the focus, just stay the same. And then when they age a little bit more and you start to decline, because everybody's going to decline. We're not going to live to be 175 or something, but we're going to decline. But as I decline, I want that decline to be as slow as possible. Bottom line, fast forward 30 years, God willing, I'm still living. I want to be running around. I want to be jumping. I want them to say, damn, that 84-year-old dude don't seem like an 84-year-old dude. So anyhow, that's a lot. That's a lot of rambling, jumping around, but that's kind of my story, and I'll probably tell it again. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.